Hi, welcome everyone for today's webinar. I'm Mahindra and I have Aarti with me from our team NGO Empowerment. Today, we're going to cover the topic which is leveraging AI for nonprofit organizations. So that's our topic for today. And we're going to talk about, how do you leveraging AI for your organization? What are the things which we are looking at in terms of AI? So we have, speaker who is, an expert in this area. That's where we have invited her. So what I'll do is, as a process flow, I mean the webinar flow, we'll have a quick introduction about what we are in terms of Nasscom Foundation and Big Tech, what we do. And then I will be going ahead and passing on to Maria to kind of walk through like what is this all about in terms of the leveraging AI as a tool, and also what we will do is we will have certain questions and Q&A which can be asked by the nonprofits during the webinar. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the Q&A box. At the end, we'll allot some time also to ensure that you ask questions. We'll take some live questions also based on the time, right? And we'll also share a QR code with you for the feedback because it's important for us to also understand how the webinar is. Is it helpful and how do you look at this webinar? So that's something which we'll also share at the end of the webinar, right? To ensure that everybody is getting the best out of it, I would request everybody to be on a Wi-Fi, be on mute, so that we can have a seamless webinar. So with that, I would like to start off with Nasscom Foundation at a glance, right? So we have been the only non-profit organization representing the tech industry, and we have been in this industry for the last 20 years, and we have a pretty strong nationwide presence to create the last mile impact, right? If you look at some of the programs which we are running under the Nasscom Foundation, we do different and varied programs, which is, policy engagement, volunteering, diversity and inclusion, innovation spaces, right? How do we look at, solutions for good? So these are some of the programs, and all of these programs, what we run, are powered by Tech for Good. So that's what we believe in because technology plays an important role, and all of these programs are powered through Tech for Good, right? Moving on, uh, Aarti, if you can move on. Yes. So I'll just quickly touch base on what we do. Under NGO empowerment, what we primarily work is, strengthening the social ecosystem by leveraging technology, like I mentioned, right? To help the non-profit organizations to address the social challenges and drive positive change to the communities which they work across, right? There are three verticals and programs which we do run in NGO empowerment. One is the software donation, which is what we call it as a big tech program, where we give the softwares at a subsidized cost to all the eligible NGOs. And there are different softwares which are available on the big tech portal where NGOs can go ahead and avail that, right? Where we also look at the validation services, where we check the validation checks for the nonprofits. We also do some in-person events like TechBaithaks and also some of the offerings which we are also planning to roll out, which can cater to the nonprofits, right? My Kartavya is another program where we do skill-based volunteering and tech-based volunteering, where we actually have uh, non-profits and students get benefited, where we invite corporates and volunteers to come and do their skill and tech-based volunteering to the students and the non-profits, right? We also do some broader opportunities like one-time activities like lake cleaning and all of that stuff, which the corporates can get engaged and do through this microcareer program, right? The third thing is we are also looking at the capacity building. While we understand that the nonprofit is not just looking for a software or a volunteering kind of thing. They are looking at a more impactful programs. So we are also trying to see how we can build a GenAI programs and how do we look at evidence building kind of a programs, which will be all be part of the capacity building programs for the nonprofits. Moving on. These are some of the challenges. I think, while nonprofits are at a different, stage, like a small grassroots versus medium to large, everybody has these, challenges which they face at any given point of time. So I'll not spend much of the time, but let's move on. Um Yeah, so I think I touched on this in the previous slide. So Big Tech is one of the program, and we have partnered with TechSoup. And in this, we actually have launched this program in 2007, and we are the only platform in India where the nonprofits can get genuine softwares at an affordable price, right? Talking about TechSoup, they are the leading nonprofit facilitator, and they work across globally with all the nonprofit organizations, right? So I think I touched on this big tech programs, the software donation and the validation. The third is the NGO source. NGO source is typically the equivalence determination checks where we go ahead and check these EDs, and wherever the eligibility checks are meeting, we make the nonprofit, eligible so that they can get the equivalence determinations, which is the US plan making process. Moving on. I think I touched on this microtrivia like skill-based volunteering and virtual volunteering. So some of the examples like website revamping, creation of data dashboards, IT audits in virtual, some of them which is like career counseling, enriching sessions, mentorship programs. So these are some of the opportunities under the microtrivia. Let's move on. Okay, so these are some of the top donors who are listed on the big tech platform. So just to name a few, like AWS, Zoom, right? Adobe. So these are all there under the catalog which is listed, and whoever are the eligible NGOs, they can go ahead and avail these softwares. Moving on. Yeah, so I'll just take a couple of minutes here. The impact which we have created through the program, which is the Big Tech. We have almost 1.69 billion rupees of softwares which we donated this to the non-profit organizations worth of the softwares, right? And because they have come to the Big Tech and TechSoup platform, we were able to save 1.58 rupees billions. I mean billion worth of softwares, billions worth of money because they have come to the big tech platform. And just to talk about the number of NGOs who are registered, we have almost 13,500 plus, and we have 2.7 million lives which we got impacted, right? And talking about volunteering, 30 corporates got involved with over 36,000 volunteers who got engaged, right? Just to quickly summarize the softwares which we have across verticals, it's like infrastructure, marketing and comms, donor management, security and operations, because we understand that every nonprofit has different requirements. So to cater to the requirements, there are different set of softwares which are available. Moving on. Um, yes. With that, I would like to invite our speaker for today, who is Maria. She is Training and Education Programs Senior Manager at TechSoup, and she's been taking care of developing and managing educational portfolio in TechSoup, and she's an experienced instructor in terms of designing various learning formats, right, targeting nonprofits, especially in the digital transformation and digital skills with over 15 years of experience working with a nonprofit. So, and she conducts a lot of these sessions and workshops for the nonprofit. So, with that, I would like to hand over to you, Maria. Please take it forward from here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. Thanks for the introduction. I'm Maria Makowska. I'm joining us here at the session today from Warsaw, from Poland. So with a little bit of time difference, and I'm super happy to be able to join this learning group. And with that, I will share my screen. Please let me know if you can see it well. Is it okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. Okay, so let us move to the topic, to the content. So I will be talking about leveraging AI for nonprofit operations. A little bit of the background that I'm here, less an AI expert, more like an AI practitioner and someone who wanted to find a way how to talk about AI to nonprofits. This is definitely like nonprofits and civil society sector is something that I've been rooted for the whole professional life. And just how to bring AI to nonprofits who often don't have big budgets, who have limited resources, who have plenty of things to do, and just how to use AI in your work so that it is your support and that it brings value and quality of the work, but also it helps you to do the meaningful work that all nonprofits are doing. And with that, I would skip this intro because this was already done. I'm from TechSoup, who is partner from Nasscom Foundation. And as it was already said, we are working with partners globally to support nonprofits and to offer them donation program services, tech licenses. So everything that can help to bridge this, to build the bridge that leverages technology to enable connections and innovate solutions for a more equitable planet. That's our mission, but we do it with partnerships globally. And what I have for you today, that will be probably quite a quick run through different AI capabilities. I will start with kind of invitation to think about AI as your personal assistant. And then I will show you different use cases, how AI can be used in the daily work. I assume many of you have here great experience already, so also please do share and comment in the chat. That's what we are going to do. Like, we're going to talk about meetings, calendars, emails, data management, managing stakeholders, using AI to develop grant proposals, but also just a more high-level perspective of how to use AI in a responsible way and how just not to be lost in this this time where AI is accelerating so quickly, and you might be just bombarding with AI everywhere. So let's get us started. I really strongly invite you just to be active in the chat, that to share your experience, comment, but also ask questions. And a note, like intro note that I wanted to make is that I'll be showing you capabilities of paid and free versions of AI tools, just to show it's not because to encourage, okay, everyone should use paid licenses, but also to see what's the value that these paid versions bring, but also how to find a turnaround and work around if you want to and you prefer to use or you need to use free versions. So I'll be just kind of jungling and tweaking from the paid to free version. So yeah, already I see some unlimited features. Yeah, just to show you the difference between different possibilities that we have. First question that I would like to ask to the group is like, have you used AI in the past few days? And if yes, in what way? What did you do with it? If you could just type in chat so that I could a little bit sense your experience and the daily practices that you have. And you might also add what tool it was. Okay, I see already some comments coming. Wonderful. Text Canva. Yes, I already wanted to add a comment. I already see that there are several AI note takers joining the meeting, which is great. And also I will be mentioning this, and also users might share to what extent you like. Okay, I see chat. If you could also add what were you doing with those tools. I see some comments here. Create presentations, check grammatical error, writing reports, case studies. I will just quickly go through them a little bit. Data analysis and proposal development. Okay. Yeah, so you can see like a lot of experience already here. Let's see if like what else you might get some inspiration from today. I will start with a little bit of statistics. This is a research coming from September 24. That was a big research over, I think, 30,000 respondents who were questioned by Microsoft and LinkedIn about their experience in using AI. And what they said, that those who started to use AI after 6 months, they said that they, thanks to using AI, they could focus on the most important work, 85% of them. 90% of those respondents said that they could save time thanks to AI. And 84% is that they might be just more creative in their work. And I think also there was like data, another one, 80 plus, that they felt just more empowered in their work, which is also, I think, quite significant, just to do our work and make our job really with a sense that, okay, I know what to do, I'm empowered, I'm really happy with what I'm doing. And I'm sharing this just to, okay, data might always help to convince people, at least some of them, but also just to show that there is this expectation of the workforce that will be using AI, and the AI will be starting to be like a like something that we can use and we should use, and just finding a way how to do it in each organization. This is a responsibility of leaders and the teams, and this is what we will be exploring today. I will start with, before going into details, practicalities. That's something that I would like to encourage you, and you can also comment to what extent you already are in this mindset, is just to start to learn and use AI in your daily work. It requires some kind of putting like experimental mindset on us. Just so it's about continuous learning, because like AI is evolving so quickly that even if we tried and we have some habits already in using AI, we should, and this is my like recommendation, invitation, just to find new ways and just continue learning. Be curious about what is going on with AI, and just check also the current landscape, and just going beyond the thing that we might already have recognized. Then just collaborate. I think this is something that is my personal experience from TechSoup, that like we are learning AI in teams, like across small teams, bigger teams, just to learn and just find our ways how to use it in the most effective way. Just to not to make it as an individual experience. Iterations. This is another thing that might help to embrace AI, is just to like constantly like check if the things how we are working right now, or we have started to use AI, are still relevant, if we can do it better and we can find a better tool. Just to iteration, something that can help organizations to grow and to learn. Embrace change. This is important. Like AI is evolving so quickly, like really, like from week to week, like new things are happening, new learning models are revealed, like new applications, new features on our tools. Like this is something that we just embracing this, that is this a changing environment, is something that might help us to embrace AI. And test and learn. This is just without testing and learning, like you won't know if the AI tools that you are using are the ones for you, that might really help you to do your work. Okay. Another way of thinking of AI, how AI can leverage your work, is think about this pyramid. We might have basic tasks that are like might take a lot of our time, even majority of it, but they are really simple. And we might have we might identify many tasks that we can just delegate to AI, that will help us to save some time and energy to do those more meaningful tasks. Like, so AI can really help us to do the basic tasks. Then in the medium of this pyramid, we have first drafts and edits. So this is thinking of AI that it can help us to just start, not to start from the scratch, but to start with already high quality of the content that it can help us to work further on. And finally, AI may help us to just do our meaningful work. So this type of tasks that we are experts on, that we like to do, we want to do it more, and this is what we are the most committed to. But AI also can be our kind of second brain to help us to identify how to do it better. And this pyramid can be also transferred to those three categories. For the basic tasks, we can think of AI as our assistant, just that can speed up and help us with some time-consuming tasks. It can be our peer, for this medium level of pyramid, that it can just help us to make deeper analysis, get to higher quality, experiment with our daily tasks. And finally, like this most meaningful work of our daily routine, is that it can help to make better decisions, be more creative, and get to higher quality. Last element of thinking how AI can be incorporated to your daily work is that you might think of your tasks and just map details of it. Like, what is that I need to do? That it's really not the point to ask AI and to engage an AI to this work, because this is what I want to be really. It's my work. I want to really be something that comes from my brain, and this is really, I don't want to make it like AI generic. But there are tasks that I can do together with AI. So the medium, me and AI, we can just work together on some things, and those tasks that you can delegate to AI. And we'll just, with those lenses, we'll go through different AI capabilities right now. If I think about AI in daily operations, especially in the nonprofit sector, here are several categories that you might find AI useful to work with. We have email management, meetings and calendars, stakeholders management, managing data and reports, writing or just working on grant proposals, project management, and content creation. Due to the time limitation that we have today, I won't be covering like those two, and I will focus on those first 5. Okay, so let's move forward. So first, like, how do we use AI AI assistants? It's through prompting, right? So prompting is a question that you ask to introduce to AI and to get it a desired output. And prompting is a conversation. So this is also, you will see in a moment several prompts that you might check. But for those of you, this is actually, for those who just start to use AI, I think this might help just to put our kind of translate this, that using AI is actually conversation. So it's about asking questions, getting some results, but also prompting again and just getting to in this conversation to a desired output. And this is like incredible in AI assistant, that it can really like understand and follow our logic. So just we shouldn't be afraid of this. But okay, prompt might be we also have to give the right prompt and relevant for our expectations just to get the desired outcome. Just for those who maybe who don't have that much experience in prompting, what kind of several elements that it's good to include in your prompt is just to define the task, what actually you want your AI assistant to do. To set your expectations, what is the result that you want? For example, what's the format, what's the tone, what's the length of the response that you expect? Put a context, so provide a background for the tasks, why you are asking this, what for, and finally, you can refer your AI assistant to indicate what information you want it to use and just to give it the data. So just it's super simple, but also very practical, and I recommend you testing this if you haven't. Summarize meeting notes into key updates and action items in bullet point format. Summary notes will be shared with project partners. Here is my meeting summary. Or transcript, right? This is what we might share, and it will help us just to get to the meeting summary meeting notes. Okay, and here I have several best prompting practices, but also please feel free already to put in chat something that works well for you. Just good prompting means just you should be clear and concise. It's good to use natural language. It's used to use relevant and specific keywords. Provide context. This is what I already shared. Break down complex tasks into separate prompts, just not to overwhelm your assistant with too many things at once. Drive the conversation with data. And as I said, have a conversation experiment. And here is my question to you. Would you add anything to this list? Do you have your own ways, what the good prompt work means for you, what you know that works from your experience? If you could put in chat. We can see. Okay, I see voice to text prompt. Have an eye to adapt a persona. This is nice. I see. I strongly recommend you check the comments in the chat. This is really, you can also learn from each other. I upload the doc and then ask the prompt. Okay, so it knows already the document. Asking AI to write a prompt is also a very smart idea, just because it can help. Okay, how to speak to me. That's a very good, brilliant idea. Thanks so much for sharing this. Define the language of how I want content to be written in. Yeah, specify number of words. This is very practical and very recommended. Write how long answer do you want? Break down and specify the required format. Okay, wonderful. We have several responses here. Okay, let me move here forward. Here you can scan the code to the prompt library. This is a not very complicated but simple version of how to collect your prompts, because something that I also would like to encourage you to think about, how from your experience with prompting, how could you how your team or your collaborators or coworkers might benefit. And this prompt library, and actually I will share it just for a moment. This is a super simple like Excel spreadsheet, nothing more complicated than that. That you might have you might just use for your work for different basic capabilities, and this is what I'm going to present us through the session. Just that you can just copy and paste things. That if you know that your prompt worked well, that you collected it, and you want to share it with the team, like having a collaboration, like something like this, very simple sheet, might help to collect this knowledge in the team, but also not to start from the scratch. Of course, it depends also about the version that you are using with your chat, your AI assistant, if you can save your prompts or not. But if not, this is a way to do as well. Okay, from current slides. Okay, here is the QR code. Also, I'll be sharing the slides with you after the session, so you'll have access to it. And yeah, sorry, I see already comments in the chat. Here's the link. Sorry, I should have put it already. Here it is. Okay, let me move forward. So now let's go through some generative AI tools. Like also like you already said, like shared in the chat, what are you using? And from like simply going through the comments, I see that ChatGPT, like it's really very, very popular here, but also not like there are other tools. And that's what I wanted to share, is just to see, to check with yourself to what extent you are familiar with the landscape and the tools that you might be using. And here again, like this table shows like what are the most popular AI tools in the ranking. And as you can see, ChatGPT like takes really a big like portion of the market, but and this is like, of course, a great business for them. But there are also other tools that is just worth exploring, and just check to what extent it might be useful for you. And here, if you could write in chat how many of those tools that are listed in the chat you have tried, like what's the number? If you could just put in the chat, just count them down with how many of them did you try. That would also help me to see. Yeah, DeepSeek, yeah, right. Yeah, thanks. This is like something that could be added. 4. Okay, there are some very experienced. 8. Okay. Yeah, and there I see that there are some missing here. That's true. They're like, it's not an exhaustive list. Okay. Oh, 14. Wonderful. Okay, so yeah, we have some heavy users of different AI tools, and we have those who I assume might be just using several of them because you might feel well with them. But just again, something to invitation, just I strongly recommend exploring different tool just to check how you feel about it. Yeah, and I see there are some tools missing. I see your comments in the chat. Yeah, as I said, it's not an exhaustive list. Okay, I will just, for the presentation today, I will be showing capabilities of ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, and Gemini, just to see, like using those because of 2 reasons. Like many non-profits are just using Microsoft or Google Workspace, and just I think it's for the digital hygiene, it's just good to use AI that might be close to your main workspace. And ChatGPT is the one that is, like, as you could see in the chart, very popular. But it might be just you also might comment what is else that you can look at when thinking about your chatbot assistants. This is like a super short like comparison that like they differ. Like each tool is different, even if some of them use the same language models. This is the case for Microsoft Copilot and ChatGPT. They are using OpenAI language models, but they with different front end, of course. The difference is that depending on the free or paid version, you might have access to the internet, to the browser. They browse to the net. But for example, for the ChatGPT, if you're using the free version, it will be trained only till October 23. So real-time web search is only in Plan and Plus and Team Plan. And Gemini is integrated with Google. Of course, it's evolving very quickly. So I just I assume that from in a month from today it might change, and there will be some new plans, new additions. So I just don't want to stick to the exact info data here, but more just what is good to check if you are trying to use, like, for example, there are some prompt limits, so we shouldn't put too many characters in the same prompt. It will tell us that there is a limit. There, if you're using paid version of ChatGPT, there might be some plans which of the language model you might be using for limited number of prompts. And yeah, like prices, as you can see, like Microsoft Copilot ChatGPT, it costs like especially and Gemini Advanced. So this is like an investment that for like non-profits, a decision to take to what extent, when it's worth investing, when it's worth to go to the paid plan, and just how to make sure that you use it in an effective way if you decide to do this investment. Okay, so now I will just, I see some hands raised, so I don't know, Sandeep, if you would like to speak up, or like if you like to ask the question in the chat. Also, Arti, I don't know, how would you like to proceed here?
I think, Maria, we can take questions towards the end.
Okay, that makes sense. Wonderful. Okay, so now, like, talking about something that you can do with AI, and also like you might, like, AI assistant might really help you to suggest responses to emails. So you just might have save some time and energy just to get to like proper like responses to your emails in a proper language, in a proper tone, that might just not to start from the scratch. This is something that really it can help with. And of course, if you have if you are managing different stakeholders, you might answer repetitive emails. It's also your AI assistant might be trained to provide you with the right answer to it. Of course, like, and I will show you in a moment, like, how to do this. You might use Microsoft Outlook, of course, Gmail, Copilot, ChatGPT, Gemini, any tool actually, and you will see like two options of it. You build in your email program application, or just using AI assistant, just copy paste things that you might going to use. And just wanted to show you two examples. Like, this is a prompt that I worked from my like training experience, the training manager experience. I wanted to show you what's the difference between ChatGPT and Gemini, just to show that each tool will give you different results, and you might check what is better for you and what you need. So I like, in my role, I need to answer several like emails about requests for trainings, if we might offer any training. So I ask AI assistants here to help me to write, and here's my prompt: write in English an email inviting representatives of non-profits to a free online training introduction to Microsoft 365, 2 hours. And this is the only thing that I gave it, right? Like, I didn't go into details. I didn't go any how I do it usually, what was the previous email that I sent similar. And this is what I received from ChatGPT and Gemini. What I like about it is that actually it gave me the whole structure, what needs to be included in such an email. Like, it gave me some suggestions, including training description, even if it wasn't trained about the content. But also there are differences. Gemini gave me a little bit more, like a little bit different approach. Here's what you can expect to learn. So they might just checking with AI assistant, this would be this medium level of pyramid, just will help us to structure our way of writing emails. This is what it can do just with even with the free version of AI assistants. But also, if you are using Microsoft Copilot, so the one that is built in Microsoft environment, this might be done also within your email, within your Outlook. So here is like, I'm using here also gifts from using like Microsoft content here, but just wanted to show that the same work can be done directly from your app. I've been using Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, but I must say that for drafting emails, I still prefer to use AI assistant like ChatGPT or Copilot Chat, not this embedded version of Copilot. From my experience, like, it just brings better quality and just more diverse language that it is using. But again, if you have access to Microsoft Copilot, this is definitely something that you can check, because you might generate it directly in your email and just send it further. Okay. Now we have for meetings and calendars. AI can help us just, of course, with transcription in multiple languages. Like if we work in international environment, this is really great to just work in different languages. It can help us to prepare meeting summaries, and this is what I'm going to share also in a moment. Creating meeting schedules based on previous email conversations, also I'll give you a sneak peek on this. And checking participants' availability and calendar, suggesting optimal dates, but this is only if everyone in the team has the same version, the paid version of Microsoft here in this case. You will see that in a moment. And here, like we have many participants of the session, like Otter AI, Fireflies, we already could see. Also, if those of you who use it, you could share like why you like using it. Is it helpful? Why would you recommend to everyone to start using your note takers? That would be great just to hear also from you and your experience. But this is definitely a way just to and not to take the full responsibility of remembering everything from our meetings and meeting notes and just save really time to get details of everything that was decided. And again, several examples. This is Copilot in the calendar. So it's asking it just to schedule a specific meeting, invite attendees, and just schedule that meeting in their calendar. But this is, as I said, only if everyone in the team would have this Microsoft Copilot license. But I'm just showing this as a like interesting option just to use, and this is something that you know. If you need to schedule a meeting with several people, might be super complicated, and AI might do it for us. This is Gemini note-taking for those of you who are like more in Google Workspace. This is also a super nice feature that like if I start a meeting, I can turn this function on and it will, after the meeting, it will share with me and with all participants a document with meeting notes that we can further collaborate on. And this is made, it is automated. So it is already very, very nice feature. For Copilot in Microsoft Teams, this is actually if we would have this here in this meeting, this webinar, like Copilot turn on. What I can do is if I join the meeting and I turn on the Copilot, I can ask it to recap meetings so far, to list action items, suggest follow-up questions. So it can help me to be part of the meeting. Even if I'm late, I'm not super focused. It can help me just to get on the track and get like really great help, and then use the meeting summary and recap to follow up on things. Another way how you can use AI. This is example of whiteboard, but the AI features are like I would say like in many tools that you might be using for any collaboration, like here whiteboard or Miro or Mural, like different collaboration tools. It can help us to create templates and can help us to create a board and just suggest what we need. So I don't need to start from the scratch myself. I don't need to look for new templates in my Miro, but I can just ask Copilot to help me like how to work on some creative things with my teams. And this is what is a nice element of AI, because it understands the context, and this is great. Okay, now for the meeting notes. Here is an example of the prompt. Again, I'm super curious to hear like how you are doing this, because many of you mentioned that you are already using AI to summarize your meetings. Yeah, this is what I tested myself. Like I asked it to develop comprehensive meeting minutes based on transcript from the meeting. So I just shared the transcript of the meeting, fake one, for the purpose of the training content. And this is what I asked it to do, like to list all participants along with their roles and departments. Then what were the discussion points? What were the decision made, action items, data insights, follow-up, and everything like based on this transcript that I prepared. It can really get me a really nice summary that was totally relevant for the like it was really on the level that I would expect it to be. So this is I really strongly recommend you test it. You can do it different way. You can take your meeting notes. If you take them and just ask AI to summarize, you can use transcript. This is of course data sensitive, like we have to be careful about data privacy, sensitive information. We'll get to this in a moment. But this is really a way just to summarize and structure things. Another field of how we can work with AI. and I'm here looking at the time. We can manage stakeholders, like we can ask it to just create forms. We can ask it to respond to recurring inquiries, that's what I said, but also support recruitment. And I will quickly show you several elements. First of all, we have, this is what I actually presented, that you can ask AI to respond to your inquiry questions. You are a role, this is what you can say, known for your effective and persuasive communication. I want you to help me respond to this. So I'm setting a tone. I'm setting how I want it to answer in a conversation, professional manner. And then it will just work this way. Those elements in the brackets is a way how you can just have a prompt that you can use several times and just change the data here. And it will ask things to that can share inquiries in the right way. Okay, and this is actually an example. Like this is, I received an email of someone who is interested in cybersecurity course, and I asked AI just to draft me that email, and it was really accurate with the relevant links. It worked, and it was really actually almost ready to be used. Creating forms. Many of us might need to, I know, recruit people, like collect, like organize some events, and we just want to recruit people. And AI here in the Copilot in the forms can help us to draft the whole content of the survey. So I don't need to invent it from the scratch myself. I can ask, help me to just what should be the content of the form. And actually, so here I ask it to draft an application form for people interested in attending Megaphone, which is an event organized by TechSoup. And they actually prepared a very good form that was totally relevant and ready to be used. Here, this version that I'm showing is again with Microsoft Forms Copilot. So I could straight ahead create a form based on the suggestions from AI. And then what else like you can use it for? It might support your recruitment processes. So I can ask and brainstorm with AI. Okay, so actually, what are the questions that I should ask to nonprofits that I want to select for the program? And we might feed it, of course, with the context. We need to give it to some expertise. But then it came with a list of very, again, relevant and good questions that I could use for the online interview. Again, you don't need to invent everything by yourself. You can ask your AI assistant to help you with. Quickly about data management. This is like AI can help us to do different analysis with data. It can help us to do analysis and like looking at selected indicators. It can transform data from documents into databases. Transforming data into formats and creating reports. Again, ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Power BI may be less here because it's like there are AI assistant, like AI elements, but this is for more complicated things. I just wanted here to show super quick, simple applications using still the logic of recruiting people for events. Like assuming that I have conducted this interview that AI helped me to prepare, then we have different data. And I can ask, I know, my donor of the program asked me to prepare a summary report of the recruitment process. And actually, it was without any interaction for AI. If I would give it a data set, we can make it anonymous, of course. We can get really report, like here's the Word version of summarizing the whole the results of the recruitment process. So sometimes it might really take a good portion of time, and AI can help us to speed up with this type of things. And I just wanted to share that even really it can just help us to summarize things like country distribution of organization, everything that we might just spend some time ourselves, and AI can make it quicker. Talking about data, also AI can help us to clean our data and just find inconsistencies and help us in formatting inconsistencies. And this is really a great thing that AI can help. Here is just an example also that Copilot, but also we can just ask, it doesn't have to be Copilot, of course, like analyze some data with a specific indicators, just to help us understand. Also, it can help us to do some work with formulas, really make some data tweaks here, which for someone who is not Excel master, it might be really super helpful. So I also strongly encourage you to test with that. And now, last element that I wanted to cover is about grant proposals. Some of you responded that you have done it, so you can also share if you have used AI how did you use it? If you could put in chat, that would be interesting for me to get to know. Several elements how you can approach creating grant proposals with AI, and also there are risks of it. Like, just we have to be careful with using it and think about it as our assistant, not someone who will produce the content fully. But it can help us to identify calls for proposals. It can help us to do research and problem analysis, needs diagnosis. So it can really, you can use the wisdom of AI assistant with going deeper into what we are preparing proposal on. Creating content, it can help us to structure things. It can help us just to identify the context. And finally, of course, like it can help us to create summaries, drafting abstracts. So everything that's like working with the text, that is super helpful with AI. Critical analysis and editing and proofreading. And here I have some more like thoughts to share how you can do it. For those who are using paid versions, you can train your AI assistant, like you might use GPTs in chat or LLMs in Google, but this is what you can think, that you can train it, you can share with your AI assistant some previous proposals so that it understands better how you work, how you write, what is the program level that you're doing, and then like work with it on the new one. You can also give the context of program requirements and priorities, evaluation criteria, so everything that just your assistant should know to give you a better quality of the content. So, and another way, like in the paid version, you can have your own chat GPT. So it's kind of train assistant that you can use for the specific purpose. This time would be writing proposals. So you can just have some ready to use elements that are already built and trained, kind of a template that it will be using for new proposals. I will skip that just to the time. Again, I wanted to show you some examples of prompts, how you can work on your proposals with AI. For example, you can ask it to draft the project budget, but this is for super simple things. For more complicated projects, do the work. But you can ask, okay, what are the categories that I should include, right? And actually, it can really come with some interesting and creative ways of including your costs and planning your costs. Then you can ask to help you to create evaluation plan. For example, if you have already some abstract, you can based on the content of the project, it can help us to identify the evaluation plan. Not all nonprofits have monitoring and evaluation specialists in the team, so it might be really some AI can help with this knowledge. I will skip, and actually this is an example, like without super like short prompt, it gave me something to think, like I can work further on the evaluation plan if I don't have that myself developed. And something that also I would like to recommend to use for the, like, if you work with AI on your grant proposals, just to use it as your critical, like for critical analysis. It can be the second brain. They can just evaluate what you have already. What do you think of my proposal? Point of errors. What did I forget to mention? What aspects are worth expanding? Just asking, challenging it to help you to be critical reader of what you already prepared. Okay. So I will just skip this just a little bit of the time. Here for the video and visual content, I just wanted to have this slide for those of you who would be interested, but I won't be going into this. You can just check those basic free tools to create images with AI, and just for those who would be interested, with some tools overview. So I'm just showing this is here, but I won't go into that. And finally, just to sum up, just to keep still some time for the questions, what is important? Like, I strongly recommend just to create your own prompt library, just to learn how to prompt and keep those prompts that you know that were effective. That it's good to use AI at various stages of proposal development. Like, you can ask AI for feedback, ideas for improvement, suggestions, but you have to really evaluate critically any result that you get from it, not only from the grant proposal, but for everything that you ask it, because it's a machine, and you take responsibility for the content that you are going to use and for the results that you are going to use. So checking data sources, verifying information, being aware of hallucination, that is, even if it's evolving, it's getting better and better, it's still making mistakes. And actually, like, this is really, we are not talking to a person, but we're talking to a machine. And this is super important. And the main message that always responsibility is on you, on us. So treat AI suggestions as your starting point. And I think that like you might already have experience with like someone who just sent too quickly some things to you or just didn't check properly. So this is really like we can use AI as our support, but we have to use it carefully. Last, really, I promise, in a moment, there is space for questions. Also, something that is good to think about when you're going to use AI for yourself and your team is that it's good to think about small steps and low-hanging fruit. So where using AI is worth trying. Like start small, pilot project, assess the benefits, just learn and reflect on your learning. Very important thing is just to encourage your team and yourself to practice and to learn, just to really try out things. And going back to this mindset that I mentioned at the very beginning, it's really important just to be open to this learning process. And finally, monitor and evaluate what you have learned as a team, as individual, as an organization. What are the strategies for AI application that are worth using and continuing, but also what is worth stopping and just trying another way. So last questions is what is that you would like to test in your work based on those capabilities that I shared. And with that, I think we might open the space for questions, if there are any.
Yes, Maria, and yes, there is one question. And before going into the question, I would like to post this QR. Have the feedbacks. So right, I am sharing the QR code. So please, participants, do share your feedback with us. That's really very important for the speaker, for us to come up with the version of everything. So yeah, thank you. Sure. There are a few questions, Maria, here. So Nomita is asking, what would be the top 2 AI tools that are must have to start with? Okay, is it me or this? Maria, I
Maria,
guess.
but if you're talking, we can't hear you. Um,
Yeah, let me just check. Actually joining.
I think while she's coming back,
I'm
probably
Yes, I'm
we
back.
can just. Hey, Maria.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Like
No, no,
internet
no,
connection. Did
no,
my
no
best
worries.
to be as quickly as I may. Sorry. We are not that lucky today. Yeah, so I'm open to questions. And Artie, when you started to select them, I was kicked out.
Yeah. So top 2 AI tools which one must have.
Actually, I wouldn't like to answer this question because I think it's really it's I have presented you the statistics, what are the most popular, but I feel really it's up to each nonprofit to select, like, and just to go and check which of them would be wearing. Also, I think that it depends also what you're looking for, because there are some tools that would be more relevant for content production. There will be some for research, for writing. So yeah, chat, I think that from the user perspective, like ChatGPT is really cool, like it's super nice and it's evolving, but it's not the only option. This is what I really would like, this is my message, just we are not limited to ChatGPT, and there are many things. And everything that is like another criteria to select is just to use something that's really close to your workspace. Like if you're using Microsoft, then try Copilot, even Copilot Chat, like the free version, because it will be just closer to your environment. And I'll pause here. So I'm not sure if this is answering, but I'm not answering.
All right. The next is, how safe is to use AI with our confidential data?
And this is actually this is the reason why paid version of tools like we're trying and checking, because like this, if you have the paid version, you are here. I will talk about ChatGPT and Copilot because this is I'm most familiar with. Like you might be sure that your data are not used to train the algorithm, the tool, right? So, and with the free version, whatever you put there, it will be used to train the system. So that's something that you need to know. Another thing, so if you're using AI, like we shouldn't use confidential data at all. Like this is something that is really that might cause a lot of harm to you, but also to the like owners of the data. And whatever you do, just I strongly recommend to first check, like ask yourself a question: is it safe enough? Like, is it putting like an email address name to the chat? Is it needed? Like, can I make it somehow anonymous without putting any sensitive data? So this is really something that's like you are sharing this with like the big companies, and they are using this. So this is being aware. That's why also what is important, just nonprofits should think about the AI policies. Which tools are safe enough? Like what is what are the recommendations, what we shouldn't do, and just take also responsibility for that to reflect on this. So because our colleagues, our teams might not ask this question to themselves. And this is important just to provide some guidance. Okay, so this is how I will answer.
Yeah, the other one is, what are the good AI tools which can be used for evaluation?
But the question is like evaluation, meaning the evaluation of the program, because like as I try to show that you might use AI tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, but any other, like any AI assistant to help you to create the evaluation. If you want to use something more like sophisticated, like to analyze big amount of data, that's another story. And this is like I didn't go to more complicated things today because also just is not the frame. So I think that again, like any tool that will help you like understand what you need and help you to draft things. As I said, also AI assistant might help to any tools also that you might be using to evaluate your programs or anything that you are doing might already have AI features embedded in it, built in. And it's also worth checking. Like if you're already using any tool for collecting data, check what AI features it already has, because like you might benefit from it. Okay. Do we have time for some more?
Can we have some live questions also? Please do raise hands. Yes, Fatima. Yes, please unmute yourself, Fatima.
Hi, Maria. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for the session today. My question is, I've put on the chat, so I'm just reading it from there. If we use multiple AIs for content, won't our prompt or responses get diluted? Instead of building history and pattern with one tool that can really understand me well, what are your thoughts?
Okay. Okay. Now I see your question also in the Q&A. Instead of building certain patterns with one AI tools, understanding well and thoughts. Okay. Sorry. So you are saying if you're like, just to understand, check if I understand. So if you're using that, it will be just the history of conversation will just make more confusion and clarity, right? Is that that's element. So I think that here for the the one way is just to like using new prompts, and this is like testing, not to reuse one big prompt but just going from to new one. Another one is just to check like different tools and see the results. So this is still going back to my first comment, being this open to learn and to check, because it really depends what you need. Sometimes patterns will give you quality, and this is what you need. In some cases, I know really repetitive things, similar tone of conversation, communication, or the content, that's what you might need. But sometimes you want to be more creative, and then checking with new prompts and new ways of asking and new tools that might give you like something more interesting to work on. This is how I would answer your question, Hima.
Thank you.
All right. Hema, yeah. Himangi. Yeah, please unmute yourself. Himangi, are you there? You can unmute and ask question. Anyone else?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Maria. Thank you for this beautiful session. Can you hear me, Maria?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to ask if we can we do the work in the local languages. So we are from Maharashtra and we want to use Marathi. So can we use that? And the second thing is, if we want to, subscribe, then the fee is only paid in the dollars. So can we pay in the rupees, any Indian money? So
This for the currency, I'm not in the position to say. You would need to check like with your like with the current plan that you would see. For the language, this is a tricky part, because I think that it's like it's changing a lot, and I would say that from what I've seen, like Microsoft Copilot is really strong in different languages, but talking about like, but you would need to check what is supported or not. Here, I'm just not that sorry. Just I'm not the person who, to speak about all technical details here. But what I understand is what I see is really evolving and is improving. So even I talking from my experience from Polish, like to what extent it was using supporting Polish. A year ago, it was totally like terrible, but currently it is a really good quality of the language. So it's really changing. So it's just good to keep an eye on it and just check what is there. But also you can refer to the like work with your AI assistant. Just refer him to the relevant sources that you would need to that you would like it to check in your local language as well. So this is really super live and it's evolving. So I think that even if now it's not super, like you can expect that within 1 year from today or even less, 3-6 months, it might be really getting better and better. But yeah, that's not that it might not be the case yet.
okay. Thanks.
I think in interest of time, Maria, we need to, although we can have, I think, a lot of questions here. So what I do is I can share the questions to you, and maybe you can respond, but I can share it with the NGOs with that.
Yeah, because also I saw some questions about some like in the content AI in the context of education. So I might share some resources that I'm familiar with that might be just like worth checking and reading more about.
Yeah, I guess that's so. So I would request the NGOs, please share your feedback with us. The QR code is still on screen, so it will be very helpful for us. Mahendra,
Thanks, Aarti. I would like to thank Maria for having such a wonderful session. I think it was very informative because a lot of these tools, what we use currently, they are there, but how do we kind of leverage the kind of features and the benefits? What are used for which? I think that added a little more flavor and a little more insights for the nonprofits. I'm sure they a lot of takeaways, but unfortunately, we have to close on time, so we are running short of time, but we'll be happy to address any questions. And we'll take up these questions also through emails or chats, and we will get this addressed by Maria. And I know a lot of nonprofits were also asking, like, can we get a presentation, the video, everything is there on the YouTube channel for us. People can go back, refer to, they can, review it again. It's also, if you need any further information, we can also help you on this. You can always reach out to Aarti and she can help you to address any further questions. With that, I would like to conclude today's webinar. Thanks a lot, Maria, for your valuable time and great insights. Thank you, Aarti. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.